Rick Allen Ross as a consultant on Far Cry 5. One striking example that prompted the investigation behind this article is the 2018 first-person shooter video game, Far Cry 5. While it is not the first installment in the Far Cry adventure series, what makes this particular title noteworthy is the involvement of American anti-cultist and deprogrammer Rick Allen Ross, a known associate of Alexander Dvorkin and a follower of his totalitarian sect. Rick Ross confirmed his involvement via social media. Below are excerpts from an edited transcript of an interview with Far Cry 5 creative director Dan Hay and Rick Allen Ross. We started to talk to Rick Ross about language. The devil is in the details of this stuff. Dan Hay, creative director of Far Cry 5, on the development process of the fifth installment in the Far Cry series. 2 words, free labor, said Rick Allen Ross, Ubisoft's cult consultant for Far Cry 5, in an interview last week at a ranch outside Livermore, California. I was asking about the role the Eden Gates cult plays in the French game maker's March 27th blockbuster for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, and how Far Cry 5's creative director Dan Hay and his team worked with Ross to make these fanatics feel true to real-world cultists. Dan Hay, creative director of Far Cry 5. We started to talk to Rick Ross about language. The devil is in the details of this stuff. Right away, when we started to talk, we got the sense of just the parlance of the cult needs to be different. There needs to be words they use that we've never heard before. We talked about things like love bombing, really strange terms that, okay, hold on. When we start to write this and build these characters, they need to have a language that's different. It was powerful to be able to grow that. GamesBeat. How important is it to reach people who might have never even thought about a cult? Or they might just remember the Branch Davidians when they were growing up. What happened there? Ross. I think that cults are ever present. I travel all over the world. It's a phenomenon that's everywhere. It's global. I can assure you that it's a growth industry. There are more destructive cults today than there were back in the 70s or 80s or 90s. It's a very real and current problem. I think the game taps into that, and I think, other than being exciting and fun, it also can pique people's awareness and give them some of the telltale red flags of what would be a cult. Ross. And that's when it gets really scary, as opposed to a cynical con man or manipulator. When the leader truly is a believer. The potential for violence, the meltdown, the intensity, that's when it gets really freaky, really scary. GamesBeat. Is there a cult active in the United States right now that you'd consider a danger like this? Ross. There are always dangerous cults in every country around the world. There are, of course, groups that are in the media on, really, a daily basis. If you go to cultnews.com or culteducation.com, you can see that there are many groups that have been called cults that are in the news every day.